From the Mac of All Trades studio in Fairport. And driven by Victor Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, it's Billified, the Bill Moran Podcast.
Well, hello and welcome. Thanks for getting your pod on. Thanks for telling a friend. That's how we spread the word about the pirate ship. Danny!
What's going on, Billy?
The birthday boy.
Woohoo!
Tomorrow's Danny's birthday. He wanted to come in tonight.
Sailboats.
That's right. Sailboats. What are you doing tomorrow?
44. I don't know.
Reggie Jackson, right?
Yeah.
Reggie Jackson.
Reggie Jackson actually wore 9 in Oakland. But yeah.
Butch from Baca is here.
Butch.
Hello. Bikers Against Child Abuse. We'll find out what's happening with them. And Dougie Fresh.
What's going on, baby? We're back on Tuesdays. I love it. I'm fired up.
Doug's all fired up. So I did see today you were supposed to go to the Red Wings game. The Red Wings were postponed, and I don't know when they're going to make it up. The game up. But the game did not happen.
My car's in the shop. I couldn't make it. Yeah.
Okay, so
I borrowed my sister's car.
Okay.
It's not like borrowing her bicycle that's pink. This is actually a Jeep, so it's manly.
Yeah.
Somewhat.
No, it doesn't have the low bar or nothing.
No.
No, with the streamers.
Any bar's fine with me.
It's a Barbie.
But
it's
is
the
your
Barbie
real
Jeep.
car pink?
It's all pink, huh?
Is your real car pink?
No.
Oh,
Yeah, pink. Real men wear pink.
So
I like pink.
somebody I see post on the Red Wings, high school baseball's playing, but the soft wings can't. And I went, here's the problem. They're a business. I'm not saying that there aren't probably some logistics that you have to do with high school baseball, but you've got fans, people you're paying, concessions you need to open up. You want to make money. That is the purpose of any business, is to make money. And they weren't going to make money today. It just wasn't going to happen. And the rain is supposed to get worse, and so they postponed the game. I think they will play tomorrow at 6.
Not to mention, you don't want somebody getting hurt on a wet field. A baseball's different. You can't. It's not like football. You can't play in the rain.
I
You
love
can't
how
do
these fucking guys in the. I go, high school, by the way, too. You got a more finite amount of time.
High school, you
to
have
get
2
these
months.
games. Yeah, you got more finite amount of
In
time.
fact, you don't even get 2 months. You get 6 weeks to get all those games in.
So whatever. I saw that. Doug was just explaining as we came on, and I did see this. Doug argues with his father that
It wasn't an argument.
It was. You did not
wasn't.
fucking believe him. That's why you went to
No, he
face.
came out of left field.
Does he ever slip into an Elvis accent when he
No.
argues with you?
No.
So,
Doug
all right.
here.
So I was so excited by this because I saw your post.
I'm sorry, baby. I didn't mean
Doug
that.
goes, I watched the 10 Commandments. This is how exciting his life is.
We're sitting there watching March Madness.
Yes.
And we're talking about me making deviled eggs the night before.
But
All
you
I'm
were watching
the 10 Commandments,
10
which
Commandments.
I do every year.
Yeah.
It is Passover, too.
Is that your only religious thing you do? Or do you actually go to church and stuff?
I keep that to myself, to be honest with you.
Oh, cool.
Do you go to church?
Here's a Bible track.
I have gone to church on occasion.
On occasion.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I know you say you keep it to yourself, so I'm going to keep prying. Are you
I have my own way with God.
Are you Catholic?
Oh, do you?
I am not Catholic. I've
Okay.
never been baptized.
Okay. So I only ask with the 10 Commandments sometimes. So you did say your father said what?
So we're watching March Madness, and I'm like, hey, I made the deviled eggs while watching the 10 Commandments last night. And he turns to me, he goes, you know Moses had a stutter? And I'm like,
So
really, Dad?
did, he
He's
did.
like, no. I'm like, Dad, come on. I'm like, out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, Dad, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I'm like, what did he come down the mountain? And he goes, I got the I'm like, the 10, the 20, what the fuck you trying to say? So my dad's shaking his head. He starts laughing, but he was absolutely.
Well, it was supposed to be 20 commandments, but it could only get out 10.
It can only get out
so
10.
we were like,
Thou
10.
shall, nah. Like, okay, let's break it down.
It's so weird because I didn't know this. So now I had to go look it up.
I did. I looked it right up there on my Google, and then somebody else posted.
But you
that it was,
asked on
Exodus.
Facebook, and I loved it because I went, Doug doesn't believe his dad so much he doesn't believe his dad that he's going to Facebook to a jury of his peers. This was Facebook jury, man. It was the greatest. You're going, bullshit. This is a lie.
I'm just wondering if anybody
Yes,
else had heard
yes.
this or didn't know it like I was. And maybe
I actually didn't know it, and I did see that it was Exodus, and it said he had a speech impediment, but they didn't say stutter specifically.
In Exodus, it says, and Moses
Exodus.
said unto the Lord, oh, my Lord, I am not eloquent,
Yeah.
which is a great word to use when you can't speak well. Neither heretofore, Nor since thou hast spoken unto thy servant, but I am also slow of speech and of a slow tongue.
Yeah.
So he said, well, I'm going to send your brother Aaron with you to speak for you on your behalf.
Well, that's why Aaron spelled with 2 A's, because he was like, hey, Aaron, like trying to spell. All right, there's 5 A's. Let's just cut it down to 2 and move on. So.
That and more coming Thursday.
My dad's like, you're going straight to hell. I'm like, yeah, this is. I've known this for a while.
You want to talk about going straight to hell? So I had my 14-year-old son in town, and we went to my mom's. And I had one of my other sons who's 22 with us. And my mother said, let's dye eggs. So the boys were going to dye Easter eggs, just like when they were little. So you can write, you get the white crayon or the candle wax, but it comes
calls
in
it
a kit.
dye eggs, not color eggs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dye, D-Y-E.
Yeah, I know.
So
I used to dye shoes at Kinney's, but I color my eggs.
Well, that's good.
Okay.
We dye our eggs.
All right.
So you could take the white crayon and like you write on there, and you used to put like, so-and-so sucks or whatever like that. So all of a sudden, now here's the bad part. I thought it would be fun since we're all just hanging out, chilling, that I had half a gummy, but I didn't tell anybody that I had half a gummy. So at dinner, I'm like laughing a little too hard at things and all this. So my son drops an egg in, and it's all blue, and he pulls out and he goes, hey, look, he drew a penis on the egg.
Of course he did.
Nobody saw that coming, Bill.
So I didn't see it coming. So I stand there, and I'm like, oh, and so he didn't want to make a big deal about it. He's like, all right. So I said, no, show grandma. Go show grandma. So he's like, fine. So he shows her, and she's like, oh. And she goes, Jameson, you're 14 years old. He goes, yeah, exactly. I'm 14 years old. What did you expect?
Well, yeah, what age did she expect him to draw the...
Yeah, but she's going, I never, at my grandmother's, I would never. I go, well, I can't. And then the next day I said to her, listen, I had half a gummy. I couldn't even discipline a kid because I couldn't stop laughing over the fact that he drew a penis on his Easter egg. We wound up throwing it out. Which was a
Why didn't you just unpeel it? Then you could eat it.
Well, that's what I said.
Right.
I think he smashed it out of embarrassment because she was making a big deal about it. And so he threw it out. But you and he together go to hell on the stuttering and the penis on the egg.
Well, then my dad proceeds to tell me that, he does know about history and he does read. And he goes, I know I only worked at Kodak and people know me as a joker and Elvis impersonator. He goes, but I can hold a conversation with the best of them. Even somebody from NIT. I go, you mean MIT, Dad? He goes, yeah, that's the place.
But wait, your dad graduated RIT.
Yeah, exactly. And NIT is a basketball tournament going on right now. So
well, it's easy to get confused.
He's just inches closer to that home. It's just going to be easy to go. Am I going to the home? No, you're going to NIT, right next to MIT.
Danny, I went to church on Easter Sunday.
Did you?
Yeah.
I'm impressed.
And
was that before or after you went to the haunted bar?
That was after the haunted bar.
All right, good.
Yeah, the haunted bar. But I went to I went to church, and I'm sitting there, and it's a version of the Catholic Church, but they accept everybody.
Oh, okay.
So I think the priest is married and gay.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's Catholic light.
Did he have a stutter?
He did not.
Okay.
He did not.
Sure, wasn't a Lutheran or a...
no, I think it's Episcopalian.
Yeah, Episcopalian.
I think it's kind of a derivative of the Catholic Church. They do much the same.
Almost Anglican.
So I'm sitting in there and I'm looking at this woman in the church and I'm going, why do I know her? And she's kind of looking around and she's a pretty lady. And I'm like, wow, man, I go, did I go to high school with her? Now, there was a girl I went to high school with who became a model and she did some Maybelline and stuff like that. So I'm like, maybe I go, she's younger than me, but we went 7 through 12 in one building. It was small. So, this girl could have been 5 years younger than me. I didn't know. So I'm watching. Then there's a coffee hour after. My mother goes, you got to come over for the coffee hour. So we go over to this other building, and they have a full spread. They've got date dishes and cupcakes. And this woman comes in, and she's got her 2 kids. She's walking around. If I say the name Hillary Burton, does that mean anything to you? Hillary Burton?
No.
Have you ever seen the show Jeffrey Dean Morgan? Does that mean anything to you?
It sounds... Oh, was he the guy? No, he's not MacGyver.
No.
That was William Dean Anderson.
Did you ever watch the show One Tree Hill?
No, but I heard it wasn't a WB show.
Yeah, it was like
named
a
after
WB
a U2 song.
I don't know
Okay.
if it was, but so she was in that show.
Okay.
He was in The Good Wife on CBS. He was one of the lead guys on Walking Dead. he and Paul Rudd own a candy shop right in the town my mother lives in, and they live there. But I'm watching this woman, and once I figured out who she was, and I went, oh, okay. I remember I have seen that show because when I was married, my wife did like that show, and I had seen her in some other things, and I'm going, as I'm watching her, I go, man, being famous sucks.
Yeah.
Because you have to watch this woman, like, carefully, methodically watch every action, every interaction with everybody from the church that comes up, making sure she introduces herself just by her first name, not assuming anybody knows who she is or doesn't know who she is, making sure her kids are polite and do it. I mean, I was like, wow, this was
it's hard, man.
It was parenting almost like 10 times.
Well, you said, like, you know, after the Super Bowl when Taylor Swift and Kelsey embraced that, you said they have to, like, watch everything they say. They're on camera, and they have to be so disciplined in that moment. You know, and it's probably the same way. It's a way of
You're
life.
just watching now. Now, a lot of people, like, my mother has no idea who this woman is. And then when I said, so we get in I go, that woman looked familiar. My mother goes, oh, yeah, she wrote a book about this town and how much she loves it and loves living here. And she goes, and all the locals hate it. And she, you know, clearly has a tremendous amount of money and, you know, is very pretty. But, man, to watch her have to interact with everybody, like, her head was sort of on a swivel, making sure she recognized everybody, eye contact with everybody, making sure kids did all that, where normally you would just be kind of a little more normal. And I'm like, man, being famous sucks, because, you know, everybody's talking when you leave. They're all talking behind your back what you did. She ignored me. She didn't say anything.
Oh, yeah.
She didn't, you know, I go,
I mean,
holy shit.
Back in the 90s when the Bills were in their height and they went to 4 straight Super Bowls, there were just as many people growing up that hated the Bills that loved them. And the reason 90% of them hated the Bills, 10% were like, yeah, they have their own team, or they just want to be counterculture. The other 90 was, well, Jim Kelly didn't give me an autograph. He was a jerk. Bruce Smith's a jerk. Thurman Thomas is a jerk.
Exactly.
You know, because, like, these people, they can never turn it off, even if they're just, like, going about their business and just trying to mind their business. Hey, I'm sorry to bother you at dinner, Bo Jackson, but I know you're with your family, but could you sign this box of cards? I mean, these guys get this crap all the time. They're targets.
Hearing guys say, you know, I'm having dinner with my family right now, and try to draw some boundaries. But it was funny because then I looked this woman up, and People Magazine just did a whole spread in the month of March on her, their house in Rhinebeck, her husband, the whole deal. So it's like, all right, that's pretty nice.
Is it on a cliff overlooking the lake? Or
no, it's not. It's a big old farm that they have.
Oh,
that they
cool.
run or something like that. But anyway.
Well, good for them.
Yeah. Butch is back from Baca, baby. It's the Bikers Against Child Abuse, and this Sunday, the day before the eclipse.
Oh, is this the Big Moose Club dinner?
Yes,
Big Moose Club dinner.
Big Moose Club dinner.
Hey, Rocky. Spaghetti and meatballs. My favorite. Gonna go see Butch. Bugger.
Then we'll get moose and squirrel.
So if I want the dinner, what do I got to do?
Show up with $15 in your pocket.
$15.
Yep.
What do I get for my
spaghetti, 2 meatballs, Italian sausage, bread, salad, and dessert.
What if I want to go through twice? Then it's $30.
$15.
That's it. That's perfect.
Yeah.
That's a good deal.
It's all going towards the kids, though.
That's right.
It's all worth it.
Why don't you just tell everybody again what the Bikers Against Child Abuse does? Because I loved it when you were here. I think it really helps the kids' self-esteem.
It absolutely does. So we're international. We're in 47 states, 18 countries, all with one mission: to empower abused children not to fear the world in which they live. Every child gets 2 primaries, which are a 24/7, 365 contact for that
so they
child.
Can call at 2
call
o'clock
them
in the morning.
anytime.
Yeah.
Those primaries also do follow-up visits with the kids. If they're really far away, and it sometimes ends up being text messages and stuff more than visits, but just constant contact with them. Then we help them through the entire court process. We follow them. We wait with them before they go into grand jury. We're there when they come out. Basically, just being there to keep their mind off the fact that they're gonna go in and tell a bunch of strangers about what happened to them.
Right.
And then if that moves to a trial, we also go there to trial, which is, Butch is obviously not my real name.
No, but that's
Ghost
the thing.
Rider, who was here last
Yes.
name, not his real name. We all go by road names so that we can't be subpoenaed.
Yeah.
Because the defense attorneys will subpoena family and friends of the child so that there's nobody in court for him in there. So that way, we got our road names.
Wow.
We go
wait,
in.
wait,
we're in the
wait,
front rows.
Hang on, back up 1 second. I just heard you said, so the defense attorney will try to make it so the kid almost doesn't have any allies.
Pretty much, yeah, sitting in the courtroom. So if the child's testifying, but then, then they'll start calling parents to testify, anybody, even for one minor detail. And if you're subpoenaed to testify in court, you can't be in the courtroom during the rest of the proceedings. So
the
that
kid would have
child
to-
could potentially get up there to testify and not have anybody in court sitting there waiting for him.
Interesting.
So we're in the front rows. We go there as a symbol of strength for the child, not as a symbol of intimidation towards
Right.
the perpetrator. We don't deal with the perp. We don't deal with anybody. We have one rule in court, which is shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Don't talk to anybody. You don't know who you're talking to.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, Baca kids, the numbers vary, but 96% of the time, Baca kids are able to get through the grand jury process and move their case to trial, where non-Baca kids is somewhere in the 60% range.
Wow.
So it's a pretty drastic.
Yeah, that is a pretty
difference.
drastic number, and that's interesting because, as you're talking, I always think like we hear defense a lot of times, right? The defense attorney, and you want to go, well, that just sounds awful, right, for the kid. But on the other hand, you go, you have the right to a fair trial, and a good defense attorney is going to do everything they can to protect your rights and freedom.
Absolutely.
Because that is the system we have set up here. So it's kind of going both ways, but it just sounds so bad when it's a kid that's on the receiving end of this.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, that's the part that really makes it tough, because it's a kid on the receiving end, and you just go, ugh, I wouldn't want to have to defend one of those cases at all. If I were a lawyer.
And the difference we see in these kids sometimes, I mean, one of the first, we went over the level 1 process before, where we all go meet the kid for the first time. And one of the first ones I went to, we were told, oh, this kid's really shy, he's really quiet, he's really reserved, be careful, and how you approach him. And by the time we introduced everybody and gave him his bag full of goodies, that kid was in charge.
Yes.
I mean, bam, you're going here, you're hiding with this guy, you're doing that.
Yeah.
I mean, just barking orders all over the place. He made one of our guys run 10 laps around the house because he didn't like the way he was doing stuff. And, I mean, it's just amazing, and we went back to afterwards and, had our debriefing, and I said, I thought you guys said this kid was shy and quiet. They're like, he didn't say a word
Yeah.
the first time we met him.
Yeah.
He didn't say anything. And then, I mean, it's like that quick for some of these kids.
It's very nice, the work that you're doing, right?
Yeah.
And I know that, as you pointed out, the idea is not to intimidate anybody or the perpetrator. But I would think that a lot of times in these cases, someone does try to get to the kid. And I don't mean in some way to like silence the kid, but kids are impressionable, and so you may have like a grandma or somebody who comes along. And I would say that if I knew that Baca was there, I'm like, okay, hands off. And so I wonder if it does help, almost in addition to build the self-esteem and make the kid feel safe, actually protect the kid from someone trying to manipulate them.
And we will do that if it's a level 2, which we touched on briefly last time too. If there is an immediate threat to the child, if sometimes the perps will go back, leave notes on the refrigerator or something.
Yeah.
We will set up 24/7 at least 4 people around the house. If the child and the family leave to go do something and come back, we'll go clear the house to make sure nobody's in there before they go back in, and we'll do it until the threat's gone. Usually by then, the perps have run into a few restraining orders and stuff, so they're not out. Hopefully, not out too long.
May I ask a question? And I don't know if you'll be able to answer this or not, but have you gone in to clear a house and found someone?
We have luckily in New York we have not had
have
a
not.
level 2 situation yet.
Good. That's great. Well, it is good work, and you can help out Sunday. The Moose Club in
On West Henrietta Road.
West Henrietta
in,
Road.
in
5375.
Yeah, there you
West
go.
Henrietta Road, Sunday, April 7th. Where's the time?
Noon to 5.
Noon to 5.
We'll have a silent auction going on too. We got some pretty cool gifts.
Oh, cool.
Doug donated some stuff for us. Thank you, Doug.
One night of
Did
comedy.
it give you the?
I gave him a case of DVDs with Night of Cat.
That's what I wanted to know.
Some cheap
I know you were
champagne and wine
thinking about
glasses.
it. I got him a couple.
Night at the Cat.
Did you get the one director commentary?
The director's cut.
It's on there.
That's great.
It's the uncut version.
Yeah.
All right, get out there and support a really unique cause. And I had never heard of this until Doug recommended having you on, and I think that it's great. What
We
you guys
appreciate
do,
you
so
having
it's
us
very,
on.
very, very cool.
It's been good. We've been reaching out. The more we do presentations for agencies, which is how we get our children, and the more and more we do, it's kind of nice when we go back. We hear that more people have heard of us.
That's
every
great.
time we go back. So
Good.
I just appreciate you having us on and
You got it, man.
letting us spread the awareness about our organization.
Anytime. We will take a moment. Coming up, a little game for Doug. Are you smarter than a stripper? Now, all Doug really has to do is tell us if the girl will get the question or the answer to the question correct or not. That's
Okay.
kinda it. But we can all participate, and feel free to hang out, Butch, if you
All
want.
right. I might have to listen to this.
But comedy at the Carlson. Oh, tomorrow night or Wednesday, April 3rd, it is going to be Joel Lindley. Joel is extremely funny. He is from the mean streets of Brighton, and he is hilarious. He has played clubs and colleges around the country. And then Thursday night, your headliner.
Yeah, here.
Yes.
Greg Owens.
No, I know who it is. I'm
Okay.
just looking
All
over.
right, yeah.
Greg Owens. Why?
Greg Owens. Features Cindy Arena and some other guys.
And
there.
the MC is Dougie Fresh.
Woo!
And Dougie Fresh, I'll have to ask later on, but I think you're excited about this.
I'm excited.
You feeling good?
Feeling nervous. Feeling good. I was practicing today.
Yeah.
Just going over my
I love when Doug.
my routine. It's just like me. You pretend I'm a Jiffy Pop. You just keep stirring until I start popping. And just like you can feel it coming. Yeah, I'm anxious.
And then, so that's Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday and Saturday is Jamie Lissow.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Jamie Lissow.
Have you talked to him
Comedy
again?
Club. I have not talked to him again. I did not. I'm hoping to get out to see him, but I've got my mom coming into town, and I've got all kinds of different things happening. So we'll see. But I'd like to get out there and see Jamie. He's hilarious. Jamie has been on Gutfeld. He has his own podcast now with his doctor. With his doctor.
wow, really?
With his doctor, who is also his girlfriend.
Oh, okay.
And it's questions you're afraid to ask the doctor, basically.
Yeah, we've been waiting for a show like that.
It's really it's nicely done, and Jamie inserts the penis jokes. Of
course he does.
Yeah, he's very good at it. So check that out. All at Comedy at the Carlson. Lock your tickets down for the shows Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
There's
all
a
at
lot of funny this
Carlson.
week.
There is a lot
Yeah.
of funny this week,
And
and I think it's fantastic.
Joel was my first show after winning the contest in 2022. I was at Robbie's with him, and he was a really cool cat. We talked a bit, and he was funny. I mean, yeah.
Yes. He is.
He is funny. He's got a lot of history. He's got a lot of years behind him, and dude.
CarlsonComedy.com. Lock those tickets down and go and support Dougie Fresh.
The Ric Flair